Earth is inside of you, and it always has been. You guys are in a journey right now of reclaiming self worth, especially if you've been struggling with narcissistic abuse, people coming up against you, gaslighting, betrayal, rumors. Okay. I'm hearing a lot of you guys have been in an energy of people really I'm hearing groups of people, group chats, okay, negative energy here. Trying to control the narrative when it comes to you, your anointing. And I'm hearing that, like, for a lot of you guys, you've been in your come up season. Like, that's literally what it is. Like, the devil works hardest against you when you're in an energy of really stepping into your power. So, what can be done when people are coming up against you, trying to take you down, and affecting your self worth? The only way to reclaim your power is to know that the worth is inside you and has always been inside you. And this is nothing that anyone could ever take away from you, right? It doesn't matter who they are, your parents, your friends, bosses, okay? If you have really strong sense of who you are, if you have a really strong sense of self-worth, then whatever everyone else has to say about you doesn't matter because you already love yourself. You already know that you're the best. You already know that you're completing your mission and you're doing everything that you need to do in order to stand in your power. So, how do you reclaim your self worth? The first thing is don't blame yourself, right? So, let's just say you got into a big fight with your boss or and who's a narcissist, or you've dealt with like a lot of bullies or whatever it is. Blaming yourself isn't going to help you change the circumstance. Blaming yourself, being mean to yourself, talking down on yourself isn't going to help you move forward in any way, shape, or form. It's just going to make you feel bad. Now, take accountability, right? Where was my fault in this situation? Maybe I allowed this person to gaslight me and manipulate me for a long time. Maybe I played along too much. Maybe I didn't listen to my intuition, right? But that doesn't mean you have to blame yourself because every experience, everything that ever happens in your life is just showing you where you need to grow, right? We live in a universe where we're constantly being tested. We're constantly learning lessons. We're constantly evolving, okay? So there's no need to blame yourself. All you have to do is make better decisions the next time around. Okay? Another way to reclaim your self worth is to ask yourself, is what this person is saying true or is this a projection? Let me give you an example. So before I started my TikTok, my narcissistic mother used to say, Angie, you're not good at tarot reading. You're only good at reading Turkish coffee, okay? Because when my gifts first came in when I was 4 or 5 years old, and then they tried to turn it off, whole other story, and then they came back, and I was doing Turkish coffee with friends around 10, 11 years old, in the Russian community. Okay, it's like very well known to read Turkish coffee. So then when I was 13, I got my first tarot deck, but it was very difficult for me to learn. Like, obviously I wasn't ready. I was really young. I couldn't memorize the meanings of the cards. And then I never told my mom that I eventually learned the meanings of tarot. So then when I first started TikTok 2 years ago, my mom said, you need to stick to Turkish coffee. You are not meant to read cards. You're not meant to use cards. But at the time, I was already using oracle cards for years, and I was slowly like, I had trouble with some of the minor arcana, but I knew how to read. I knew how to read oracle. I knew how to use my intuition. I just, I had kids. I was trying to fully, so my mother was projecting because she's not that good of a reader. Our gifts come from a long line of ancestors, and she didn't want me to fully step into my power and be able to read her with cards, right? Um so I'm not going to blame myself. I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to think any type of way about it because I just know that she didn't want me to read her with my cards. And it takes everyone time to memorize 78 fucking cards and the reversals, especially the minors, Like, what's the difference between two wands, three wands, right? Like, and eventually, the more I read myself, the more I learned, okay? So, reclaiming your self worth all has to do with, is this true? Is what this person's saying true? Am I not worthy of social media fame and success? Or am I not worthy of my dreams, goals, and aspirations because this person doesn't think I'm worthy of it? This person doesn't see my vision. This person doesn't see my truth, but that doesn't mean that I'm not meant to do it. Okay? And then you have two options there. You can either reconnect with your passion or your passion, okay? Or you could take that shit lying down. So for me, I'm the type of person, you're gonna attack my worth, you're gonna attack how I feel about myself. I'm gonna be 10 toes down, baby. I'm gonna push 10 times harder. You tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna go even harder. You tell me I'm not for something or meant to do something, I'm gonna go even harder. Because who are you to tell me what I am and am not meant for in this lifetime? Not in this lifetime, okay? Because there's an energy here, I feel like, for the collective where there's this push of realizing what your passions are and not allowing other people to take that away from you, okay? Knitting, crochet, arts, tarot, whatever it is your passion is, you can keep putting your energy into that. And that's how you have self compassion. And that's how you have that self worth and self respect because you're like, okay, I went through a really hard day with my boss, with my parents, with my mother, with my siblings, with my friends. People aren't who I thought they were. So I'm going to give myself that compassion. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to start a new passion project, or I'm going to take a bubble bath, or I'm going to do whatever it is that my inner child, which we'll get to, is asking of me. So after you've reclaimed your self worth, right? Affirmations, I'm always worthy, I'm always enough, I'm always good enough. Okay, you could do some healing exercises. So a few that are really good is self-worth journaling, right? You can journal the things that you love about yourself, the things that you've grown in, right? Like almost like a mini therapy session with your journal. Okay, I personally am not that big at journaling, but I know there are people that are, and you can always ask ChatGPT, what questions can I ask myself for thought-provoking shadow work, right? Like for example, if I wanted to increase my self-worth, my journal prompt would be, what aspects of myself do I not appreciate? I'd write them out. And then I would say, okay, and how are these my gifts? Because here's the thing, 9 times out of 10, the universe gives you gifts and things that you hate about yourself or other people hate about you. For example, I'm a Capricorn rising. I always speak my truth. I don't know how to shut the fuck up. Okay, Libra moon. I always speak my truth. Okay, that's one thing that I've always gotten in trouble for at jobs, at opportunities with friends. I don't know how to shut the fuck up. Okay, but this is a psychic gift. It's called being an illuminator. It's called being a trendsetter, a trailblazer, okay? So, what ways are the things that I dislike about myself actually psychic gifts and abilities, okay? One great thing that I always do is mirror work when I'm feeling low about myself or about anything. And now I just saw fairy energy, okay? Fairy energy, very significant in this reading. So one thing that I do when I'm feeling like bad about myself, about my weight or about my hair or about like, my business, I come up to a mirror every day. I love you. I deeply love you. You are so worthy, Angie. You are so worthy of abundance, of success. You're so beautiful. You're so skinny. You're 125 pounds. Okay, manifesting, right? Because as we know, it doesn't matter if it's not happening in your 3D reality. If it's happening up here, it's coming. It's on its way to you, right? Another thing we can do, which I used to do this a lot when I was first healing from narcissistic abuse from my mom, is inner child visualizations or inner child guided meditations. You can find them all over YouTube, right? Um, so it's very simple. All you have to do is sit in a quiet place, close your eyes, connect deeply, and find that inner child within you. And just ask them, what do you need from me? What can I tell you right now to feel better? And another thing to remember too is when you're going through a hard time, speak to yourself like you would to a child or to a friend. A therapist told me that a couple years ago. Would you say the things that you say to yourself to a friend, to your children, to your siblings? Absolutely not. I would never tell my siblings, my children, my friends, you're a fat, ugly bitch, okay? Right? And I know I'm not the only one. I know that I'm not the only one that has said horrible things to myself, right? We all do it. We're all there. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how much weight you lose, okay? Body dysmorphia, stuff like that. It's all about self compassion. And another great way to kind of remember that you're worthy and always have been worthy and that worthy is innate is to write a letter to yourself of self compassion. And then you can burn it or you can drown it or you can bury it, okay? But yeah, get a pen and paper and just, write out like, I deserve compassion because I've lived through trauma. I deserve compassion because I'm a generational curse breaker and I'm the only one doing it. I deserve compassion because there's no one else in my family line that's destroying these generational curses the way that I am. I deserve compassion because I'm alone in all of my experiences. I deserve compassion because people don't understand me the way that I choose to understand other people. And a list of all these things, like every trial and tribulation you're going through, you deserve compassion for that. You absolutely deserve compassion for that and self understanding and seeing things from that higher perspective. And don't forget to have gratitude, even for the difficult things, and flipping the script. So, my favorite thing to do is to flip the script, okay? For example, if someone blocks you or unfollows you, that person blocked or unfollowed me because obviously they're jealous of me and I'm in my winning season, and this is God Source Universe cutting this person off from my circle because they're attempting to block my blessings. And now I've jumped so many timelines that they're no longer able to do that, right? Or, if you lose a job or you don't make as much money in your business one day or whatever it is, this, Flora Svio says this. I watch her a lot. She's a manifestation coach. This is the unfolding of my blessings. This is the crumbling before I receive everything that I ever wanted. So I'm going to have gratitude for that. I'm going to have so much gratitude that I lost this thing or I lost this opportunity because this is the unfolding, as she says. Or like I like to think of it as this is just the beginning of everything that I prayed for. This is just the beginning of my prayers coming in, my breakthroughs, and my manifestations. And once you've healed enough, this is where you can start setting boundaries with yourself, okay? Something that people talk about a lot in the spiritual community is boundaries with other people. However, I think it's equally as important to set boundaries with yourself because it starts with you, because you're the only person that can fully hold these boundaries in place. You're the only person that can make sure that you're actually fulfilling those boundaries, especially when it comes to self worth. So, how do we do that? We identify our values, right? Okay, I'm evolving. I'm in my spiritual journey. I'm stepping into the highest version of myself. I don't want to be around people who drink. Confirmation hiccup 222 on my time, which is balance. Confirmation hiccup. I 1 2 3 4 on my clock. Exactly on my timestamp. I don't want to be around people who party. I don't want to be around people who are misaligned. I don't want to be around people who treat me like shit. I don't want to be around people who only reach out to me when they need something, right? You have to look at your own values. Does it make you feel good when, God, I'll give you an example. Okay. I hate to blast my family like this, but my dad came down from Florida like 2 weekends ago, and I told him beforehand, like, listen, the kids are in daycare. I only have them Saturday. I know sometimes you like to do stuff on Sundays. I don't have them that day, and we're really busy, and I'm running a business and all this and all that. So he says, okay, okay. So he comes down from Florida, and he's like, texting me Saturday night at like 5 o'clock. Come up with the kids on Sunday and come see your grandma. First of all, I told you I don't have the kids on Sunday. Second of all, like, you're texting me last minute. You're not even giving me 24 hours of notice. This is not fair, and it's not respecting me as your adult child, right? I'm your child, but I'm an adult. So I told him, if you want to hang out, I can see you on Sunday later. I'm not going to grandma's house because it's an hour away, and I just don't have time for that. Last minute, I didn't prepare. I don't have things prepared. He never answered me. So then he calls me yesterday. And he starts asking me to read about my girlfriend, read about my business, read about this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yeah, I'll fit you on my schedule. I'll call you back. I didn't call him back. I was going to call him back. That's the thing. I was going to call him back, and I was going to go back on my own self-worth boundaries. But then I had to think about it, and I'm like, that conversation didn't make me feel good. You came down from Florida. You purposefully didn't visit me. You didn't fit me into your schedule. You tried last minute, and then I came up with an alternative plan because I don't have custody of the kids on Sunday and you don't care. But then when you need something, you need me to drop my whole entire life in order to give to you. That didn't make me feel good. So I'm realizing now that I value people valuing my time. If you don't value my time, 444, if you don't value my energy, if you don't value that I'm extremely busy, and especially now I'm trying to make a YouTube and I have notes and, preparing and all that, if you don't value me, then I'm not going to keep giving to you, right? It's super important to realize that. And then you also have to recognize your patterns. For example, I said yes originally to my dad, saying, like, yeah, 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 let's do a reading. You don't even have to pay me, which he should be paying me because we only talk like twice a year. So why am I going to give you free things? Because you're my, you know what I mean? Like, that's the point. The point is, where are you saying yes where you need to say no? And where are you saying no where you need to say yes? Because let's be honest, sometimes we're the problem too. Like sometimes we lose friends or relationships or connections because we don't want to leave our house because we're introverts, whatever your thing is. And it's all about setting realistic goals. It's all about saying, okay, this is where I'm at. And this is what I'm going to do. Like, I love myself and I deserve good friends. So, I'm going to put it in my schedule to go out. I'm going to, especially like getting more organized. Okay. So, these are the ways that you can like remember that the worth has always been inside of you. And all you had to do was remember that. I love you. Just keep shining. You've got this, baby.